Let me tell you a story about caffeine addiction, and just I really want you all to know about how important it is to read labels and know how much you are consuming of a product before you go into full-blown insanity. Okay, maybe not full-blown insanity, but you just be careful, okay? All right. So, hi, I'm Jess. I'm addicted to caffeine in a way. I have two of these sized mugs of coffee a day, sometimes three, depending on how badly I slept the night before. And I drink just enough coffee just to keep the headaches away and to help me feel like I'm waking up in the morning after having a rough night of sleep. I have an infant, and so I get I get woken up in the middle of the night, maybe 3 times a night. It's starting to decrease. That's why it's like, I don't really know. But I also have a 2-year-old who's going through a bit of a sleep regression as well, which is super fun. So, yeah, and sometimes he's inconsolable and sometimes he just soothes himself back to sleep. So it's a process, and so I have a hard time sleeping, and therefore I drink my morning cup of coffee. Pretty justified. Back in 2022, in January of 2022, we decided that we were going to be moving from upstate New York to Iowa. And that was because family is out in Iowa, and there's like better work prospects, I guess. Actually, my husband had a job where he could easily transfer because he had a job that's all over the country, at least the continent of the USA. And so he was able to just transfer to the state of Iowa for that. And so we were living in a house that was pretty big. And we were living with his mom, so my mother-in-law, and she decided to move out to Iowa as well. And the house had been lived in by my mother-in-law and my husband and his siblings and his dad for 20 years. That's a lot of stuff. My husband's the youngest of 4. So that's a lot of stuff. And yes, all of the siblings had moved out, and my husband and I got married, and we lived in our own apartment for actually 2 apartments, for 5 years. And so, 5+ years. And so they were empty nesters, but they still had a lot of stuff. So, I mean, this house had 3 bathrooms and 4-ish bedrooms. It's a lot, okay? And I mean, like, 4 bathrooms. There was like a half bath. So, yeah, there's a lot. Okay, and so, and then there was a barn on the property as well, and that had a lot of stuff in it too. So we were packing, getting rid of things, going through things. We had like 4 different dumpsters that we were throwing things in and filling up consistently. It was a lot. There was a lot going on, and I was just stressed beyond belief. So, and I had a 2-year-old daughter at the time. I was not pregnant with my son yet. I had one kid that I was taking care of, but she realized a lot of stuff was happening, and so she was kind of going nuts. uh, not understanding what was going on and acting out a little bit because like what's happening, big changes are happening. And so I had trouble sleeping at night. And during this time I decided to start thinking, well, I'm not sleeping well at night. I need to drink more caffeine. And so I was drinking 2 cups of coffee. And then I started drinking this hydrating caffeinated juice powder beverage thing. Because I wasn't drinking enough water either. And so I thought, well, maybe if I had electrolytes, that'll help me. And I didn't realize that it was energizing as well until afterward. And I was like, oh, this has energizing on the label. Oh, it has caffeine. Okay, it has B12 and ginseng in it. And so I was like, okay, well, it's helping me feel better. So therefore, I'm going to be drinking that as well. So I'm going to drink that on top of my 2 cups of coffee, all right? And then I developed a taste for this thing called Java Monster, as in Monster Energy drink. And I would drink one of those on top of the 2 cups of coffee and the B12 ginseng energy drink thing. And I thought Java Monster, at the time, I thought Java Monster was just coffee flavored monster drink. That's what I thought it was. I didn't realize that it was espresso mixed with Monster Energy drink. So I would drink that on top of the energy hydrating juice powder thingy, on top of 2 cups of regular coffee. And I drank this every day for 3 months. Yeah, I could feel my heart shaking. Not shaking, but like I would get the shakes. I was really just stressed beyond belief. And it was nuts. And my husband didn't know what was wrong with me. He thought I was just being just really grr all the time. No, I was grr all the time. I was grr all the time. But that was because I was so anxious and so stressed and so heightened that yeah. Well, I just think of this, like, have you ever been to the gym and taken pre-workout? That was me. I was on pre-workout because of all the caffeine that I was taking. I was like on pre-workout. And it was nuts. Were you just outside? Get back in here. Anyway, back to what I was doing. So yeah. Well, come to April of 2022. My dogs are playing. But yeah, April 2022. I actually looked at my can of Java Monster once. And I was like taking it around. I was like, what is going on? Why am I so stressed out? I'm having migraines. I'm having incessant migraines. What is going on? Like I was having a migraine 2-3 times a week. And I was just so unbelievably stressed. And I was not feeling well. And this was probably the end of April. This was the end of April of... No, May. This was May. Sorry. Yeah. May, but I think April, I was starting to be like, well, there's something wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. My mom would bring me these Java Monsters. She didn't realize that it was the same thing. She didn't realize that these were espresso mixed with energy drink. She had no idea. She was basically being my, oh, the enabler. She was basically the enabler in this addiction. And I don't think she realized just how much caffeine I was taking. Like I said, yeah, I'm having like 2 cups of coffee. I don't understand. And I wasn't sleeping well at night. Duh, I'm drinking energy drinks every day. I'm drinking so much coffee during the day and I wasn't only drinking these in the morning. No, I was drinking these in the afternoon, and I was having trouble sleeping. Gee, I wonder why I was having trouble sleeping. You know what I mean? And so it was nuts, you know? And so she didn't realize, and I didn't realize. And so one day in May, it's like the end of May, something snapped right in my ear. It's like, you need to stop drinking so much caffeine. You're killing yourself. Stop it. Stop drinking so much caffeine. There's something wrong. Something bad is going to happen if you keep drinking the amount of caffeine that you're drinking. Something bad is going to happen. Your heart's going to give out, or you're going to have maybe some weird cardiac episode of some sort, or, God forbid, you get pregnant, you lose the baby. You're drinking way too much caffeine. Now, why did I mention the baby part? Well, first week of June, I found out I was pregnant. June was the month we were moving. Like the end of June was when we were moving. Not right now. So, yeah. But there was just something telling me in my gut and in my heart and in my head, it was like, you need to look at how much caffeine you're taking. So I finally looked at the can, and it saw espresso and plus Monster. I'm like, that's messed up. I need to stop taking that. And so I told my mom, like, you need to stop bringing me these. If you're going to bring me anything, because I knew cutting cold turkey, hell. I knew I would be going through hell if I stopped cold turkey. And I knew that was not possible. I was already having migraines. And I'm like, I don't want to be out for a week dealing with that. Nah. So I was like, if you're going to be bringing me anything, bring me like one of those Starbucks. That's way less caffeine. Bring me like a Starbucks mocha latte type thing. Just give me one of those. She brought me a Monster. I remember that very clearly, she did. Because she was thinking, same thing, right? I'm like, no, I can't drink this, Mom. I can't drink this. Don't bring me these. I cannot drink this. And thankfully, I think I only had like 1 cup of coffee when she brought me that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to drink this. I'm not drinking anything else caffeinated. Like, I'm just, like, I had only had like 1 cup, maybe half a cup. I don't know. So I was like, I'm just going to drink this throughout the day. I did that. I slept better. I was starting to feel it. Like, I got a caffeine headache. And I took Tylenol. I took ibuprofen. I used an essential oil diffuser that my sister-in-law gave me. I'm still thankful to that day because I still suffer from migraines, but not as much. And that helped. The certain scent, it's got like peppermint, marjoram, lavender in it, and it helps so much with my headache. It gets rid of the pain. I still have this like little tingle on the back of my head whenever I have a migraine and I'm using that. There's like a weird little vibrating tingle, like hey, we're still here, but like I no longer have the debilitating pain of a migraine when I use it. So that's great. And so I still, I was like, I was getting the headaches. The next day, I was like, bring me a vitamin water. If you're going to bring me anything, bring me a vitamin water. Because we would meet up for coffee and she would bring me something. So like, just bring me a vitamin water. Just something like that. And And she's like, you need to be drinking your caffeine. I think this is not a good time for you to cut down on the caffeine intake. I'm like, no, no, no. I need to cut down on my caffeine intake. It's just not good for me. And then the first week of June, I took a pregnancy test. And it came back positive. I'm like, holy crap. Yes, I need to be cutting down on my caffeine intake. And so that really motivated me to stop drinking so much caffeine. And I was keeping it a secret. I decided to keep this pregnancy a secret because, like, everybody's already going through a lot. Nobody needs to know this right now. The only people who can know this is my husband and my mother-in-law and my baby daughter and my sister-in-law that lives all the way in Iowa that we're moving to, because she was also pregnant. So it's like, these are the only people that can know. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell my brother. I didn't tell any of my extended family. We didn't tell my other sister-in-law that was helping us move. I just, no, don't, I don't know why I didn't tell this particular sister-in-law, by the way, because she's great at keeping secrets, but like, hindsight, right? So it's like, why didn't we tell her? But like there was no logical reason to not tell her, but like we just like, yeah, my sister, like my mother-in-law, we were living with her and she helped me find the pregnancy test because Walmart likes to move things around. So so I was like, I think I might be pregnant, so I need to take a test, that type of thing. And so like we were all like super, super stressed, emotions were high, and I find out I'm pregnant and I'm like, I need you all to help me to not, like I was telling my mother-in-law, like, tell me to stop drinking caffeine. Like coffee, fine. Maybe one of the hydrating energy drinks occasionally if needed, because hydrating, fine. But, as long as I only drink 1 cup of coffee if I'm drinking that, And so I actually stopped drinking coffee because of that hydrating energy drink. It was really helpful in the morning. And so I stopped drinking coffee, and it was summer, so it was hot. And so that actually really helped out. And so I would just, if I'm drinking this, I'm not drinking coffee. If I'm drinking coffee, I'm not drinking that. I'll just drink a bunch of water. And, it was just, and I was so stressed. I couldn't tell if it was stress from the moving or if it was pregnancy symptoms. Like it was just so crazy. And also the cutting down the caffeine. I was extra nauseous. I was extra fatigued. I was extra just blah. But by the time we had moved, I was so exhausted that I just slept a lot. I was so tired. And I don't know if that was pregnancy or just the exhaustion of the move. But now I know I will never drink that much caffeine ever again. Just no. I've learned my lesson. And just read labels, please. Because not knowing what Java Monster really was. And it was clear. It's clear on the can now. I don't know if it's always been that clear on the can and I just didn't notice, but it's clear on the can. Coffee, like espresso plus Monster. That's insane that people would be drinking that on the regular, Like I understand if you're working like night shift or like maybe like a 24-hour long shift. I totally get it. But I'm like, if I just can't believe it. And like what brought this on for me is that it is May. It is the end of May. And every time this time of May rolls around now, I just think back to 3 years ago when I was just so addicted to caffeine, drinking that much caffeine every day. And now I drink 2 mugs of coffee. That's all I need. I don't need any more. If I start feeling really tired, I'll drink tea. It's a little less caffeine, but, you know, a little pick-me-up. You know, Earl Grey or English breakfast, Irish breakfast, Yorkshire Gold. I don't know. I like tea. Yeah. So this is a 20-minute long video. Mostly probably just rambling about things, but this is how I tell stories. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you stopped watching at about 5 minutes in, I don't care. Have a good day. Happy Memorial Day.